How you guys doing? My name is Nick. I live in Waterville, Ward 2. I've been going to school board meetings and talking about why our children are still wearing masks. I know this is the city council, has nothing to do with it, but it is an issue that needs to be brought up. I mean, I see plenty of people in here not 6 feet apart, not wearing a mask, and it doesn't seem to be an issue in here when you guys are more at risk than our children are at. I just was seeing a photo that our kids are getting graded in school for not wearing a mask during lunch. They're getting graded on whether or not they're talking at lunch because they have to take their mask off. This is what's going on in our school, guys. Why are we not talking about this? I started something. I am going to be protesting at school board members' houses. My intent is not to be violent. My intent is to hold these school board members accountable for the decisions that they are enforcing on our children. We are going to these school board meetings and we're speaking and we're not being heard. They're just rolling their eyes. They don't care. Can we get some help? Can we start talking about this? That's all I really have to say.
So, I got a couple questions for you now that we have you here and we're addressing this. I have essentially, any time that we have brought up a mask mandate, have shown my disdain for them. A lot of us aren't wearing masks. A lot of us are vaccinated. I have 4 kids in our public schools. Waterville's not perfect. I have my issues with the school department. I deal with it when I have to. I call the administrators. I email them. I try to speak to them. Have you tried reaching out to any of our school board members?
In Waterville, no.
So I would suggest that if you're going to...
But is that going to work? I mean, you just said you did it, right? Has it worked?
It has.
It has.
So I have no issue with your protesting. I have no issue with you doing it. I like every amendment from the first all the way on. My issue is that with your approach, I don't care that you want to protest. Have at it. I've invited you to come protest in front of my house. Leave them alone. But you're
not the one making decisions for our children.
You should start with a phone call and an email.
We have started that way.
Not here in Waterville. You've said so by your own admission.
Yes.
That you have not given our school board members the opportunity to have that discussion with you. And I will tell you that if you go to a school board meeting, they will listen. You may not get the answers that you like, but they are going to be respectful and they are going to listen. And I believe that they deserve the opportunity to be given that courtesy, that you would at least give them the option to hear you in person before you show up at somebody's house with signs. I understand that you don't want to be violent. I understand that you're not trying to intimidate anybody. But if that's your first approach, no one's going to listen to you.
So who said I was going to a Waterville's house?
You're the one saying that you're going to
I never said I was going to Waterville. I came tonight because I was invited by you.
You were?
In an article.
To have this discussion.
To have this discussion.
You could have called any one of us to have this discussion, to express your concerns in this same manner that you and I are having it. We're not yelling at each other. We're not flailing. We're not posturing. We're not flexing. We're just sitting here having a normal conversation. And I'm sorry that other towns may have treated you differently, but that's not how we do business here. We listen to our constituents. We're not always going to get what we want. Gentleman? What was that?
What ward is this gentleman in?
Ward 2, Flavia's ward.
I announced what ward I was in. I said 2.
Yeah, he's in 2. So, I would urge you to go to a school board meeting first. I'll go with you.
Okay.
I'll have that discussion. Again, I have 4 children in public schools. You're talking to a man that wouldn't even pierce his daughter's ears until she was old enough to ask. I have 6 people in my house. 4 of them are vaccinated. 2 are not. Do you know why they're not? Because they don't want to. I won't force that on them. I give them a choice.
And that should be the mask issue.
So that is a conversation to be had. I'm not against what we're supposed to, what you want. I'm very against your approach. take that for what it is. But if you want to go to a school board meeting in this town, and you want to, I read somewhere that you've been to multiple and you're 2-0 and getting bounced out of school board meetings.
And I was respectful at both of them.
I assure you that if you come to ours, nobody's bouncing you out as long as you're being respectful. So that's where I would start. If you want to go protest those other neighborhoods, I can't do anything about those other towns, but in this town, I can offer you a better solution in a better way.
Well, then let's do it.
We don't need the stunts. Let's do it.
It's not a stunt.
It's attention.
You call it a
seeking.
stunt, but you know what? It got attention to it, did it not?
You could have gotten the same attention by picking up the phone.
We've been picking up the phone.
You didn't call me. You didn't call him, her, or anybody on that screen. Not one of us. We would have helped you. Somebody would have talked to you, and somebody would have helped guide you through the right path to make this work. If all you're going to do is make noise, nobody's going to listen to you. You have people on your side that sort of agree with you, but they're not going down that rabbit hole with you.
That's fine.
So if you want to go to one of those meetings, let's do it.
Let's do it.
You have to assure me that A, it's going to be respectful, and we're going to listen, and we will have open dialogue, and anyone you want to bring will be the same.
Watch the videos at both of the school board meetings I went to. I
I've
was
seen
not
'em.
disrespectful,
I've
and I
seen
was
'em.
respectful in both ways. And when I was asked to leave, I left respectfully.
I see that. I don't think that'll happen here. I think people will listen to you. Again, I don't think that we're going to get what you want out of it, but at that point, once you don't,
And at the same time, I know I
Then you're
personally
free.
haven't reached out to Waterville, but I know there's plenty of parents in Waterville that have reached out to their representatives and have gotten nowhere. So that's why this approach has been taken.
All I would say is not everyone agrees with you.
That's fine.
And this is the tough thing as an
We
elected.
live in America. That's the greatest thing about
This
this
is the
country.
tough-
We all don't have to agree.
This is the tough thing as an elected official, is trying to balance all the different views. And this is a really hard time to be a school board member. And every one of those people are elected, and they'll be up for re-election. And if people don't like what they're doing, they can vote
Run.
them out. And that's the way you handle it. You don't go in front of their house and harass them.
Yeah, this is
we good
this
for the
is
meeting?
during a time when we have record numbers of people in the hospital system here in Maine, and 1/3 of those people in the hospital right now, as Maine is reaching record levels, and physicians in this community, healthcare workers that I know are under tremendous strain, are dealing with those people at the record surge. 1/3 of those people have been vaccinated. 1/3 of those people that are on ICU intubations are fully vaccinated. At no point in this pandemic have we been at this critical stage. People now pretending that the pandemic is over and that precautions are not necessary, are not paying attention to the data. They are not paying attention to the lives that are being lost. We can have discussions about freedom of choice, but assuming that a elementary school aged child is sufficiently capable of weighing all of the healthcare implications of their behavior at school is not understanding what a child is and the responsibility that adults have to those children. Going in front of an elected official's house and protesting and not using the appropriate channels, as people have said already here numerous times tonight, is not the democratic process. Protest is a resort when the democratic process has failed. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Klepek. Any other counselors at the moment? Future Councilman Thomas McCormick.
I'm gonna back up what Jay just said. You with your phone sitting here recording me right now, and you with the Save America hat, I expect to see your names with a petition walking around just like I did in the last election and running for those positions, or quit making noise and not saying you can make it, you can know. This is the way to
Tom,
do
we're
it.
not here to argue.
I'm not arguing.
No,
I'm
stop.
making the
Everyone
statement and
stop.
asking you to do it.
Everyone stop. I said that we are going to have a civil conversation, and that is what we have had. I will not let this deteriorate into nonsense. I will see you, sir, at the next school board meeting. Yes, we do. But we are definitely getting to the next school board meeting. Like I said, you and I are going to discuss things. You are not going to like everything I say. I'm not going to like everything you say. But at the end of it, we're going to come out civilly, figuring out a way to fight and find a solution. Again, you may not get the solution that you want, but you do have the ability to use the proper channels to make it happen. Any other counselors? Go ahead, sir.
I know it's been a long night, and I'll make this very brief. Calvin Stoats, Maple Street, I think it's Ward 2, North End. So, to your point, Jay, I appreciate the fact that you give us the opportunity to speak and have a open dialogue. It's needed. So, the Waterville School Board, as a parent in Waterville, I brought my kids, and we had this conversation about masks, and there was other parents there. They were ostracized the vast majority of the time by the board. So I disagree with what you said originally. And this is why we're at this point. We're not being heard, or when we do speak, we're shut down and asked to leave. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
I'm glad that you weren't shut down today.
Well, I appreciate you.
Anybody else?
That's a motion to adjourn.
Definitely.
Have a good night, everyone.